Yeah, unless she really messes up this speech this morning, she is finally in. 5 months after she was selected after the European elections, which seemed like a lifetime ago now. The thing is, she was, of course, barely confirmed by the parliament in early July, but she actually has to survive two confirmation votes, one for her herself and one for her entire team of 28 commissioners, one per EU member state. And what we saw is the European Parliament had an unprecedented pushback against her. They rejected three of her nominees. That itself is an unprecedentedly high number. And most shockingly, they rejected the French nominee, Sylvie Goulard. They've never rejected a German or French nominee before. That didn't have so much to do with von der Leyen as it did with the circumstances around her appointment. MEPs were still angry about the fact that the national governments, and particularly French President Emmanuel Macron, did not honor their Spitzenkandidat system of fielding candidates during the election. Von der Leyen was not one of those candidates. But the three countries, which were France, Romania, and Hungary, put forward new nominees after their nominees were rejected, and those replacements were approved earlier this month. So now we're ready to go unless something unexpected happens in the speech this morning. Now, it was looking for a little bit like this would be delayed even further because right now, von der Leyen only has 27 commissioners, and because Brexit was extended in October, there's still 28 member states. It was assumed by now the UK would have left, but that extension means there's 28 countries, and under the rules, there's supposed to be 28 commissioners. Von der Leyen says she doesn't care. She's starting on Sunday no matter what.
So what's the latest then, Dave, with the UK commissioner?
Well, the UK is refusing to put forward a commissioner. They've been asked nicely first and then not so nicely by the Commission. But Boris Johnson said he will not put forward a commissioner before the UK election on the 12th of December. They, of course, are worried about how that would look to the UK public. It might look like they had no intention of leaving the EU if they were putting forward a commissioner. So the Commission is actually suing the UK for refusing to put forward a commissioner. They say they're not following their obligations under the EU treaty. But in the meantime, publicly the Commission says we think we can still start on the 1st of December. The concern is that any decision or legislation coming out of the Commission with only 27 members could be legally challenged. The big concern there is any competition decisions. Obviously, any companies that didn't like the competition decision could easily use this as an excuse to sue and delay or challenge that decision. Now, the Commission publicly says they think they can win any of those legal challenges, but privately, I'm being told that the strategy is just that they're not going to put forward any decisions until they get that commissioner from the UK. They're going to try to find other things that are not concrete decisions. For instance, I'm told that the European Green Deal, this climate change flagship policy of Ursula von der Leyen, will come on the 11th of December. That's a nice communication which can't be legally challenged because it actually won't contain any concrete proposals. So they're going to try to find things like that at first and wait until the UK puts forward a commissioner to get going. Of course, this hasn't engendered a lot of goodwill in Brussels toward Boris Johnson. People are pretty angry about his refusal.